Next is the introduction of Carrie LeZotte. She's our newly appointed Director of Cable and Community Relations, and I am proud to do this introduction. One of the things that when I came on board that I really wanted to do was increase, and I know it's not just myself, actually all 7 of us, that was something that is very important, is transparency, communication. Especially, we're doing all these great things and nobody knows about it. And that's frustrating as a resident to find out if we have a core program and not even know about it. So one of the things that I spent a lot of time looking for was this director position. I interviewed, or I had over 40 applications. I narrowed it down to 10 people that interviewed on Zoom a couple times each, narrowed that down to 4 people that came in for in-person interviews, narrowed that down to 3 that went through panel interviews. So it was a few months, probably about 2.5 months from start to finish. And I did see that the panel all agreed that Carrie was our best choice, and so did the peer review and myself. Carrie has a very wide range of background. She has marketing or doing video and productions for Comerica for over 10 years, Detroit Public Television. I believe you created your own movie film and department there. And we also was, I believe, the American Sign Language database that you helped create, which is amazing to help with communication even further. And it was basically her ability to communicate to the same message to different people in different ways so they receive it. Sometimes the hardest thing with communication is you say something, you think somebody understands it, and then you realize nobody understood what you're talking about. Or we create something for a cable viewer, which is very different than a YouTube viewer, which is very different than an in-person. So Carrie was tasked with her beginning at the end of June to get out a lot of things all within a quick time and restructure the department and hire new people. So she's been, speaking of the fire department, she's been doing a bit of drinking through the fire hose lately. So we wanted to take time to introduce her to the board, give you a chance to talk to her, learn a little bit more about her, ask some questions, and tell us about yourself and what you've seen in the last few. But take it away.
Wow, thanks for that introduction, and really thank you all for hiring me. I really feel like I've come full circle because I grew up in Dearborn at a PEG station. Some of the first video production I ever did was at the local cable station. We made like an MTV, it was the late 80s, we did an MTV type show. And many of the people that I went to school with at that time have continued into the industry and have gone on to amazing things, which I feel like I've now gone on to an amazing thing too, landing here at Bloomfield Township. I'm a Spartan, so you should know that about me. Although I'm not super tied to sports, but I still, I do believe great. She didn't hold it against me, thank goodness.
She's not Ohio State.
Okay. I spent some time making movies, and then I landed at Comerica, where I was able to engage with the business community in a way that I never imagined. So it was a really interesting time. I would never quite fit in. I was always kind of the black sheep of the family, but it was still a really wonderful learning experience. And I left at the same time that Comerica was moving their headquarters to Dallas and started my own production company where I was really doing more of the community-based content that I really always wanted to do when the film incentive came into town. So one of my greatest, I guess, I don't know if it was accomplishments, but I guess one of the most fun things I did to lead me to this point was Mayor Duggan's re-election campaign in 2017. That was kind of my introduction into government, but because I was the production company, I didn't always know what was going on. So they were making decisions and I would be waiting for approvals and things. And now I feel like I'm on the inside. So now at least I know some of the decision-making process that's going into making things happen, as we are now with the millage education that we're pulling together. I learned a lot in 2 weeks about millages. I didn't really have a good idea what that was when I started, and now hopefully I can articulate and explain that to people. And the priorities going forward. I think, what you were saying about making communication available to people wherever they are, that's the first phase, is to take all the good content that we've already been producing and making it so that everybody can see it. So whether it's in a newsletter, an e-newsletter, on social media, that's kind of merging all of those things so that everybody is seeing the same information, and hopefully getting to a place where we can actually bring people together again and do live events and things like open houses that used to happen prior to COVID. Phase 2 was really going to be looking at, we have so many extraordinary resources in this community, from the amazing award-winning library. My mother is she was an elementary school librarian, so that has a special place for me. Libraries have always been really special. That's the most amazing library ever. The farm, the nature center, the safety pass. There's so many wonderful stories to tell here, and I think getting back to Haley's point about storytelling, all of the stories have local Michigan roots. My husband's from Pennsylvania, and I tell him anytime some big local story breaks, I'm like, watch and see what the Michigan connection is, because there's always one there. Phase 3, I think, is going to be opening up our studio, and really beyond producing studio productions, we're going to be making more content that people want to produce, that people are wanting to consume and deliver content in different ways. And how can we grow the department to do that and provide this incredible resource for our community? Do you have any questions for me?
Anyone want to start?
Not a question, but it goes along with what you had said, and Haley, what you had said. I agree. The stories here are phenomenal, and they need to be told, and I'm so glad that you become part of Bloomfield Township and
Thank
part
you.
of the team, because we all have a great story. We offer so much here, but story needs to get out. And so I'm so pleased that you're part of being that storyteller.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can tell you, I appreciate that you are a quick study, because especially right now when we're talking about millages, we are obligated to inform, but you can only inform, you cannot coerce. So I will say that you have done an amazing job at fulfilling our duty of informing and letting people make their own decisions, but giving people the opportunity to even know what's going on. And you made a quick impact on that one, because we've had quite a response. So
Excellent. Thank you for
a lot
that
to
feedback.
take in.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming. Welcome. We had a chance to chat before the meeting and shared a little common history, and I think you're going to be a wonderful addition, and we appreciate you joining our township. We
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing all the cool things you're going to do.
And thank you also to Treasurer Keeps and Clerk Brooke for being part of the panel. We have some panelists out there. Darren's here and others, but thank you for your time also and being involved. Great. Thank you. See, it's not so bad the first time.
I'll be as good as her eventually.
Nice job.